They say it's a new year and a new you, but let's be honest, how long does that actually remain true? Well, we're just here to get over being sick and tired of not sticking to our New Year's resolutions, especially when it comes to our diets. This is going to be our year. So to help us get some healthy tips and to build them into habits, which is the whole secret, we have Lynn Gordon. She is the diabetes and nutrition nurse at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. Lynn, we need you. We need your help. I have resolved 3 years in a row to lose weight. Here I am, the same weight I was in. This is it.
This is the year.
Okay.
So to start with, we are going to go over the biggest diet trends of 2017. However, let's figure out the first thing is getting away from the SAD diet.
SAD?
The SAD diet is the standard American diet. Unfortunately, it's loaded with processed foods, meats, too much dairy, too much flour and sugar. So we want to get away from that and go towards some of the things that are trending, such as, number one, gluten-free it's here to stay. I mean, gluten-free is that sort of, it's that protein that we find in grain. It's that substance that makes bread fluffy. It makes dough sort of elastic. And so we want to probably, for a lot of people, there's an intolerance to gluten. In fact, 1 in 133 Americans have an absolute allergy to gluten, and they would have celiac disease.
So it's not the real way food used to grow. It's this extra things we've
Exactly.
added.
So we want, so back to nature products, are more natural and sprouted and whole grain. The next thing that's not going away, it's also an intolerance, but it's lactose intolerance. So dairy-free is on the rise. We see a lot of people, in fact, I think it was the physician committee that said 75% of everyone in the population of the world has an intolerance rather to lactose, and I'm one of them. So it's very, very, we probably don't need as much cow milk. So the alternatives are almond milk or maybe even soy milk because it has a little more protein.
So do we not need cow and dairy products? I mean, for a while we heard about the calcium and how women don't get enough calcium. We need it for our bones. Like I tried to eat more cheese and yogurt and milk, but now we're hearing that maybe we don't need the dairy, but how do we still get our calcium?
Right, and that's why you might use some of these alternatives or even some of the supplements that you can get. But I mean, milk is still good for us. It's just if you have an intolerance like I do, it's just hard to tolerate it.
Right.
Now the
This looks
vegetarian.
good. This is vegetarian.
This is vegetarian and vegan is on the rise. It's always been healthy for us because, as you know, all of these fruits and veggies are full of antioxidants, which help us fight free radicals. It helps us prevent cancer. And of course, eating too much meat is not good for our heart. It's not good for our waistline. So this is obviously the better alternative. Now, vegan is when you actually don't just eat meat products, but you also take away all animal products, such as cheese and eggs, and even like honey, which comes from bees.
Oh, really?
So vegans are more also aware of the fact that animal welfare and even the environment. It's hard on the environment when you have those tons and tons of fertilizers and all of the things that are used to make the grain to feed all the animals. It causes environmental issues. It's actually the #1 leading cause of climate change. So the emissions and the greenhouse gases from the flatulence of the cattle is actually, and the manure is actually not good for us. And in fact, this is really interesting, but one person driving a Hummer and not eating any meat is actually better for the atmosphere than a person driving a Prius and eating meat. So that's how much of an now. If you want something that's a little better, a little more flexible, the flexitarian diet is like vegetarianism. And I think a lot of people are leaning towards this, where throughout the day they're eating a little less animal product, and then by 6 o'clock they can have a little bit more. So it's more based on organic, such as this pizza that I sometimes get. It's sort of my way of eating but not feeling guilty. It's vegan, but so instead of cheese on it, it has like a nice balsamic glaze. So it's really good.
Yeah.
It's actually really healthy for you. So now the flexitarian diet is also one of those things that burgers, there's 50 million burgers a year that we consume. So you can actually make now veggie burgers. You see a lot of these veggie burgers and such. So the last thing that's really trending is actual something called intermittent fasting with cleansing. You've heard of cleansing and detoxing.
Yeah, look at
All
that.
right, talk about my
fat
least
down
favorite
there.
thing that you bring.
So that's the 5 pounds of fat.
5 pounds?
Yeah.
This is only 5 pounds
Oh,
of fat?
my
It
goodness.
is, and in the midsection, it's called visceral fat. It strangles your organs. So when you cleanse, you let your body detoxify. When you use the cleansing products, your body is then able to filter and detoxify, get rid of inflammation, and you're actually going to lose an accelerated amount of body fat in the midsection. So it's really good for 1 to 2 days, you know, intermittently
That's
to
my
fast.
fruit.
So fasting is good for
That's
you.
from Panama.
Yeah, very good.
Do it the right
And
way.
it boosts your energy. It really, if you do it the right way, it's a great way. Now, if you want to just try this, is a little piece of chocolate that you can use when you're
Oh,
fasting.
Lynn, you're saving yourself.
wow.
Because we're not depressed.
Infused with green tea, but you can do this when you're fasting because there's no carbs.
So we
it-
can
this
still
sounds
have
good.
chocolate.
You
You
are
can
going
still
to
have
need
this
more
little piece.
information
You just
about
told
this,
me.
so go to smh.com to get more information and check out Diabetes Services. Lynn has information there. Thank you so much. We'll all try this Cleanse for Life thing down here. And the chocolate. Thank you,
chocolate.
Lynn.
New Year.
Fantastic.
And a Suncoast favorite is joining us. See if you can figure out who.